Brian Powell of Iron Far here. Just kidding. This is Dylan Bowman here at San Francisco Running Company.
And I'm Megan Hicks of Iron Far. And we're here with Megan Kimmel, the 2015 The North Face Endurance Challenge 50-mile women's champion. Hey Megan!
Hey Megan, hey Dylan, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming, welcome back. So we were just talking, this is your 5th year in a row here, and you've run the gamut. You've had a DNF, and you've been the champion, and you've been in between a couple of times. So you're the defending champion this year, so what keeps bringing you back to this race?
What really keeps coming back, and you know what gets me on the plane to come here every single year is it's kind of what I've used as a test piece since the get-go, and so those were my thoughts coming into this one. I don't really know how I'm going to race with the training I've had for the past couple of months, but I figure I'll find out, and it'll either be a big mistake in all honesty, or I'll fare better than I thought, or maybe I'll just be really surprised. I really have no idea this time.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
It's been a little while since we've talked to you. I know Brian spoke with you at the Rut, but let's recap your season a little bit. You did the skyrunning thing a lot in Europe.
Yeah.
Talk about your summer.
It ended up being a lot of skyrunning. I picked up a couple different races just by chance and opportunity that were associated with the skyrunning series, and I went out to China twice. One was for the skyrunning, and
twice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So those, the first one was totally planned. I was really excited to go out for that first running race out there, and that turned out great. And then I got an invite back to go just check out the Gobi Desert for a race. So those were a couple extra trips. That second one was extracurricular, so there wasn't a race involved. So that was actually a lot of fun to go on a running trip that didn't have some intense race with it. So, and then other than that, I think it was mostly skyrunning. I had a really intense June where I did 4 races technically, kind of, in 3 weeks, and I crushed myself. Yeah. And then I did have a nice break, and I'm kind of having trouble actually remembering it all. Yeah.
You had quite a year. It was like the year of wins and runner-up performances in shorter sky distances, like in summary.
Yep, pretty much.
And then I saw you just a couple weekends ago on the Moab Trail Marathon course, where you were runner-up this year. And you said when you ran by me, "I'm so tired!"
I was really, really tired that week. I had a lot going on with this house project that I have been involved with for 2 months, and that was the worst week where I was busy for deadlines all week long. I was like laid out on my couch 2 days before the Moab race.
Like trying to recover? Or?
Yeah, just huge back pain from physical labor. It's kind of like what everyone knows not to do before your race, you know, gardening, physical labor in general. Yeah,
Drinking beer.
Drinking beer, recovery beers, a lot of them at night. So I went to that race, and I just felt horrible all day. Like I never got going in the morning, and yeah, I ran it really slow in comparison to my 2 previous years, and that was no surprise, but it was fun to be out there anyways. It always is.
Cool. So yeah, as we kind of touched on, you're more well known for shorter distance races, sky races, you know, mostly up to 50K, and this seems to be kind of the longest race that you do during your season. And for most of your competitors this weekend, you know, most of them have done, you know, a handful of ultra races. So I was curious to know if you think that might be kind of an advantage that you might have in terms of this being the longest race of your season, whereas some people may be a little bit more tired. I know you race a lot. Or if you think it might be kind of a disadvantage because you don't race a lot of ultras. Just kind of curious to get your thoughts on that.
I think the advantage of it is that I'm fresh for it. I'm not like, oh no, they're ultra. You know, it's been a whole year since I have done that distance, even though I've done some almost ultra distances within the skyrunning realm. But yeah, this is the longest in like a mileage and duration for sure. So freshness, I think, is definitely an advantage. But I think, yeah, you know, in my head, I'm just kind of, well, at this point I I feel pretty solid within finishing the 50 miler. Like I don't have a lot of concern about that, but I can't say that I've got it all dialed yet. I think maybe I'm somewhere in the middle where like I've done enough of them now that I have the confidence and maybe I now have the freshness that it might be exactly what I need to do well at this one this time. So, but yeah, you know, it's a different round for me compared to the rest of my year. And more than anything, it is the end of my season of a lot of racing. So I think that some girls are maybe coming in here quite a bit fresher. So, you know, because normally if you're doing a lot of ultra races, you're not racing that much. So I think some people could be coming in with some really good preparation while I'm just like, oh man, this is my last race of the season. And this is, for me, just kind of a season finale more than anything else.
Cool. And in the same vein, talking about the other girls coming in, because of the fact that you don't race a lot of ultras, you probably don't race a lot of the people that you're going to be seeing this weekend throughout the course of the year. Do you have like an idea of the people who you kind of need to be concerned about, or do you not concern yourself with kind of looking at the competition before the race?
Yeah, in general, I don't even concern myself with the competition because you never know, like, who's going to come. You might not even know them.
And then it changes at the last minute.
Changes at the last minute, or just that just someone you don't know, like, is ready and primed for the race and hits it, you know. So, but of course, I know Megan's going to be here, and Ruth had a really great race last year, so I'm assuming she's still on the roster for starting. And but yeah, the rest of the gals, I'm just like, I don't know who they are, but you always expect them to be the winner, you know.
You have sort of a descending order of performance here. I mean, you started out a little rough.
Or ascending, depending on how you look at
it.
Right.
And you always seem to run sort of with the same style. You take it out hot, you take it out aggressive, and you're either the pace setter or one of the pace setters, at least in the past, until you can no longer do that anymore. Yeah. Last year you took it out hot. You were setting the pace for the girls. You stuck it. Is that what we're going to expect to see out of you on Saturday?
Yeah, I hope so. I probably not running that far from me. It's really important with, I guess, just racing in general. In most races, it's pretty important for me to keep an eye on the leader, which is actually really hard at this race because it's in the dark for the first hour.
Yeah.
But
all those dudes.
All the men,
and all the men. So I do like to start up front, and that also kind of gives me a gauge on how I'm actually feeling for the day, because I like to be at that level. Like I come out here to be up at the front of a race. I mean, I can't say I always come to races for that reason, but the majority of them I do. So if I'm not really up there, then I don't want to say I'm not reaching my objective, but for a lot of races I'm just not reaching my objective. So
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, we'll see.
So I hate to harp on, you know, the fact that you're such a strong short distance runner, but I've kind of been curious to know if
play the harp, Dylan.
If you ever, or if you have ambition to ever kind of focus on doing longer races for a season, because when I look at somebody like you or like Joe Gray, for instance, who are both very successful shorter distance trail racers, it's kind of scary to think about kind of what you could do if you did focus on it kind of full time. So are you ever thinking about doing that, or are you content racing more often, doing the shorter races, traveling more, things like that?
Yeah, no, this is actually kind of what I've had as the end of 2016 is kind of what I figured it to be kind of the end of my short distance racing, and 2017 is what I figured would be going into more ultras, for the reason of kind of so like in general with short distance you do race so many more races and there's a lot more travel involved, and I'm looking to just kind of mellow out a little bit and be around home and kind of create more of a home life, which is really hard to balance out with a lot of short distance racing, especially if they involve a lot of traveling to other countries. So yeah, for quite a while now this has been my transition time, and so I am having a hard time leaving the short distance, and I won't totally leave it, but I am now looking forward to kind of taking it into the direction of the ultras, but at that I'm kind of like going to take the baby step into
Yeah.
like mids before hopping into my
Go to
first
Tour de
100.
France next year.
Yeah.
The big or go home.
Yeah, not for this one.
Cool. Well, good luck this weekend. Thanks for coming over and chatting with us this morning. Again, you're the defending champion, and we wish you the best. It looks like we have a great forecast, and it should be a fun day.
Yeah, I think 60 degrees, so it might be the nicest TNF
In history.
in history. Thank you guys both very much.
Cool.
Good luck.
Thanks.